So a few months ago, I filmed the review of a book that I absolutely loved so much and that I think it is so underrated. I'm not seeing it anywhere and that breaks my heart. And it is absolutely perfect for the fall season, and I really think you guys should go and pick it up. Therefore, here's my review, a few months late, but it just fits the time perfectly. And I just want to apologize because the video will be out of focus. Unfortunately, I was experimenting with my new lens and yes, it's out of focus, it's ugly, but do not let that take it away from a book that deserves all the stars and all the perfection in this world. Check it out.
I flail for a moment, my brain belatedly processing Dad's words. Breathe in, he says, and I do. Breathe out. I do that too. He breathes with me. This is a ritual we've repeated far too often. This is why I will never understand how people think family is as common as blood. To me, family is breath. It's trusting the person beside you to demand your right to air in a world that would take it from you. It's the vulnerability of feeling someone's chest move in a careful rhythm to give you your own back. Dad and I both know this fear for different reasons.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Fran, this is Fran Nook in the Pages, and today I would like to share my thoughts on a book that I finished listening to just a few days ago, and I fell in love with it. It was so beautiful and it touched my heart in a way that I was not expecting, and this is going to be one of my favorite books of the year. It is one of the best LGBT YA books that I've ever read so far, and it just left me speechless. Not enough people are talking about this gem, and I think it's time to rectify that, and that's why I'm here. So let's talk about The Many Half-Lived Lives of Sam Sylvester by macgregor. First, as always, I will tell you something about the plot of this book, and then I will just share my rambly thoughts. I don't have any notes, I don't have anything, I don't care. I'm just going to be guided by my feelings and emotions that I have towards this book, and we'll see how that goes. As you can imagine, this book is about Sam Sylvester. They are a teenager, they're 18 years old, about to turn 19, and right at the beginning of the book, they are moving to a new town, moving into a new home in Astoria, Oregon. Sam has to start all over, new school, new friendships and all that, so of course they are very scared, not only because of their identity but also because they are autistic, and that of course does not help them when interacting with other people, particularly when they don't know them, they're not familiar with these other people. Among their many quirks and other things that Sam would say make them weird, Sam collects stories of teenagers and kids who died before they could become adults, so before they turned 20. They have a notebook with stories and photographs and all that, and by chance the house in which they just moved in was the place where one of these kids died. Billy died because of an allergic reaction, but Sam does not think that that's quite the case. The new school Sam goes to is much less conservative than the one they were going to in Montana, where this traumatic thing happened. They start settling down, they start making friends, meeting other queer people, and one in particular, Shep, is a girl that they start to become close friends with. This girl is also obsessed with this mystery surrounding Billy. It's one of those things that completely shocks a small town because of how weird and unbelievable it was. They start to investigate together, but these investigations are taking them down a path that someone does not like, and they will do something about it. Why did I love this book so much? So this is a YA mystery novel, and that is something that usually I quite enjoy, but the thing that made this book stand out so much and that made me love it so much was basically everything else. Not that I didn't enjoy the mystery, I really did, though you have to prepare yourselves for some magical realism and things that cannot be quite explained and you just have to kind of go with it. But all the other things that surround the mystery are the reason why this book to me is one of the best things that I've ever read, and why it is so different from books that belong to the same category or genre. First of all, the representation was so well done. All kinds of representation. Now, Sam is autistic, as I've said, and so is the author, Maya McGregor. You can see that she knows what she's talking about when she describes the steaming and the panic attacks, and when Sam couldn't speak because they were paralyzed, because people were looking at them and they couldn't make eye contact. She knew what she was talking about. She described everything so well, and it's one of the best reps that I've ever seen done in a book. The non-binary rep, of course, I cannot speak for it, but I think it was so well done. There was such a deep and human self-exploration, and we see what Sam thinks of themselves. We see how they introduce themselves to other people. We see how they get dressed, what they wear. They talk about the binders. There's a binder that their dad made for them, and there was such a sweet, touching moment that it made me tear up. Just that little thing, the fact that a parent would go so far as to custom make a binder for you because they understand your identity and because they accept you and because they love you no matter what. And that brings us to the second thing that just made me so emotional, and that was the relationship between Sam and their dad. Sam's dad, Junius, might be the best parent character that I've ever read about. He was so sweet and understanding and supportive and just there for his kid. No matter what they needed, he was there, and he would understand, and he would do anything he could possibly can to protect them and to make them happy and to make them feel like they are accepted and like there's nothing wrong with them, because there isn't, of course, but it's not something that you usually see parents do. If that wasn't enough, Junius is a black man. He is on the Aro A spectrum, and he just wanted to adopt a kid, and he adopted a kid when they were 7 years old because he didn't care about having a newborn. He just wanted to give a home to a kid who needed it and to someone who needed to be loved. And Sam was that kid, and this parent made the choice of welcoming a kid in his life because he just wanted to be a father, and he wanted to give unconditional love and support to a kid. In an ideal world, that should be the norm, but we all know that that's not the case. And so to see something like that in this book was so precious and wonderful, and just the love that these two have for each other, the bond that they have was worth everything. Of course, there is a very wonderfully diverse cast of characters. Apart from Sam and their dad, we have Shep, Sam's new best friend, who is Latinx, and she is pansexual, if I'm not mistaken. We have bisexual and lesbian representation as well, non-binary and trans rep, of course, and also we have allies represented, allies done well. Later in the book, Sam also gets close to another character. They become very good friends. I won't say who just in case of spoilers, but this guy, he was there when Sam needed him. He was such a good friend, and I feel like he was the perfect example of who an ally should be. Someone who doesn't treat you differently because you are not and you shouldn't be treated differently, but also at the same time sees that you're not like other people, sees that you're queer, sees that you are fighting a battle every single day and you need all the support you can possibly get. There was this scene, this is not a spoiler, it's just something that happens, but it doesn't bear any importance in the bigger picture of the story, I want to say. But basically, one of Sam's friends, he is bisexual, but he's always labeled as gay by people because he had a boyfriend or something like that, so they don't see him as bi. And there's a prom and everyone is dancing with everybody, and this guy does not want to dance with other people because he doesn't want to give ammunition to the other students, because then they will say, oh, see, you're straight, oh, see, you're gay, not, oh, you're bi. And this friend, this ally, he comes in and he asks this guy to dance, and they just dance, and that's it. He's a straight guy, but he's a wonderful ally. He sees his friends in need of something, of just help, to be comfortable, to not be bothered by this thing that can be very taxing on someone, and he just does what he can to make it better. That's it, and it was wonderful, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved everything about this book. The mystery was so good. The representation, if you cannot tell by now, was so well done and so good, and I just loved everything. I loved everything about this book. I wish that there was a sequel of some sort, not a sequel, but like a companion novel, just so that I can see these characters come back again in some way or another, because I have not had enough of them. I want to see Sam again. I want to see them interact with their father. I want to see Junius again. I just loved all these characters so much, and I loved this book. And if you are able, please do yourself a favor and listen to the audiobook of this one, because and this is something else that when I found it out, I almost cried. This book was narrated by Allegra Verlesa. Allegra is gender fluid. They use they them pronouns. The fact that a non-binary person, a non-binary voice, was chosen to give voice to a non-binary character is, oh my gosh, it's so precious. It is so nice to see that happening, because there are non-binary voices out there, non-binary voice actors who are just waiting to give voice to these stories because they exist, because they're out there, and the fact that they are being recognized and they're being given the chance finally to do things such as this, it is so wonderful. So what else do I need to say? I truly loved this book. I would make everyone read this book. This is queer YA literature at its best. The story, the representation, the characters, the dialogues, everything. It was so well written. I loved it so much. Please go and read it. This is going to be one of my favorite books of the year, one of my favorite books of all time. I cannot wait to see what Maya MacGregor writes next. I will be first in line, well, virtually speaking, to read or listen to the next book. Also, can we please just... Can we? This was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I didn't go on too many tangents. I hope that what I said makes sense and that I made you want to pick up this book, because that's all that I want out of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if it worked, if you want to read this book, or perhaps if you've read it already, then we can talk about it in the comments, please, because I need to talk about it with someone who's read it. And this is it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon in another video, and until then, have a good one, take care, and keep reading. Warm hugs. Bye.